I quote texted it to her. She even confirmed with Phil that she knew about the wedding next week. They're trying to game a day off tomorrow. As far as my finances go, I've been in poker for 20 years. I've never once come into a situation where my integrity or my finances have been called. I haven't gone broke since 2013. So yes, me talking about having upswings in my first 10 year and then gone on downswings, that's a part of my path. Just like your little rocky 6 years that you've spent in this industry as an absolute fish. Tell them about the million I beat you out of. Why don't you tell them about how much liquidity I had and how much myself I had myself then? What the fuck are you even talking about, Lynn? Yes, after the first session, I thought airball was way worse than I could have ever expected. And yes, I bought more of myself back. What does that have to do with anything? You think that I have case money on the table?
Do I think that
Oh, stop.
you don't have 1.4 liquid?
Stop.
Absolutely. Like, yes, correct. I do not think you have 1.4 liquid. Given that you're trying to scrounge money for every bike game and every poker go game, like
I'm
you
never
had a
trying to
chance to get into
scrounge
an NCAA
money.
game and you showed up with 60K, Matt. Like, I don't know. It's not a great look, especially given that that's the city you live in and you should know like half of the city.
I had 18 minutes to get to Aria. I grabbed what I had available from friends that could give it to me. You think I had time to run to the Bellagio box, the Wynn box, and everywhere else that I keep chips around this city? I, unlike you, have borrowing power. So I didn't think it would be a big deal. I knew Daniel was there, and I figured he could float me. What are we talking about, Lynn? What are we
Matt,
even
I
talking about
literally
right now?
got floated for that game, so I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Tell me more about
Um,
how all the
but
best poker players in the world are now out of poker and think that those of us who are still in here are dust. Tell us about how Galfond is dust and Ike is dust and Bonomo is dust and Bryn is dust and Dan Smith is dust and I'm dust
okay,
and
I'll
Deeb is
retract that
dust.
statement. That was a terrible statement. No problem. I'm sorry. I apologize. I think I offended a ton of people with that. Um, Terrible
Not me. You
generalization.
didn't offend
Take
me
that back.
with that personally. I didn't get offended from that.
Tell me how you didn't know about
I
this
just
wedding
think
for next Saturday also.
I just think that if you've been playing in so-called great games for the last however long, I guess if I were in your shoes, I would expect myself to be a little bit more
You
successful.
have no idea how successful or not I am. In the year we were together, I never once told you what I was worth.
I'm not so sure about that, but
Go ahead, throw a number
yeah, I
on
don't
it.
know. This is the year we were together. I would guess that at peak, you were worth 2.5. Crypto's doing well. You have equity in your house, some liquid, and then just some lying around in boxes and whatever else.
Okay, I
How
have
am
a
I doing?
seven-figure business, a seven-figure house, and I
You
beat
have a
you out of
seven-figure
seven
business
figures.
that no one who is an owner of that business has made any money from, Matt. I would not go
So?
around touting my seven-figure business if my closest partner who just left that business likely did not come out making a cent. That is not impressive to me.
That's his choice. The equity's worth what it's worth. We make
And you didn't cash him out.
700,000
You
annually.
didn't buy someone out of the business that you claim is worth seven figures.
Why would I buy
Sounds
him
like
out?
pretty
He
bad
signed a
business
not.
practice.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why would I buy him out? He breached contract. That's not how this works.
He breached contract because he saw that he was on a sinking ship and decided to.
Good for him, Lynn. That's a personal choice. What are we talking about here?
Wow,
What are we talking about here?
wow, I don't
You
know.
just haven't said
It
one
doesn't seem like
factual
it's a
thing.
seven-figure business. Like, how are you even coming up with this valuation? This seems like when Stanford grads show up with an idea and they're raising for 20 million with not a fleshed out idea, not a prototype, nothing. So,
Okay, do you think a business that's grown year over year is worth 1.2 its annual revenue
it's growing year over year in what? Not profit, that's for sure.
in gross? Just because we reinvest doesn't mean that it's not growing. Year over year for 6 years straight, we've gotten larger. We have a larger bottom line.
Okay, so how did you guys do last year?
We
Growing to
made
like 100K a year.
675,000.
Okay, and you guys and no one made a cent. That's remarkable, Matt. That's
I mean,
actually remarkable.
the, I don't think you understand how businesses work, and I'm not going to explain it here over a space, but the company itself retained all of that money. We just didn't distribute it. and we reinvest it into things, like marketing and coaches and new product. I know, wild
Sounds like you
idea.
guys are investing in some great coaches, Matt. Killing it.
What?
Especially the ones that aren't actually making videos for your site. So,
Go
I
on.
don't know.
Give some examples.
Sure, why don't I just log into Solve for Why and find out about all of these great coaches that you guys are investing in that have sub 100K on Hendon Mob? Killing it, Matt.
Name one.
With that said, though, I will.
Name one.
Sure, okay, let me. Yeah, I can just I can sit here, go on Solve for Why, and literally search up every single
You
person.
can. You have a free account.
I'll get on it. Not how I was expecting to spend my evening, but
Well, if you're going to talk out of your ass, it's important that you at least bring one fact to the conversation, and
Sure,
you've
no
yet
problem.
to say one. So we're here showing receipts now, Lynn.
Sure. Will, you're welcome to field any other questions and whatever while I sit here, go through every single coach that Matt has on Solve for Why and report back as their hidden mobs. And if they all have 7 figures, I will more than happily eat my words. I am constantly wrong. It's more than possible that I am wrong here. But hey, I'm just saying I'll be surprised. Logging in now.
Hey, Matt, I might be interested in
Wow.
becoming a Solve for Why coach now. You've sold me on this product.
Booked. You got it, buddy.
Okay. Andrew Brokos. Let's check out his Hendon mob.
Thinking poker,
Doing it
he's
well.
very good. I've known him from 2+2 for 20
Okay.
years.
Yeah, 900K, 850K in total live earnings. Love that for him. I'm sure it's all profit because.
Oh my God. She's going to sit here and drag Brokis and
Next.
Russell and
Tom,
Sylvia.
Mad Queen. Okay, great. No videos from him. You guys sure are killing it on the site. Christian, I'm sure is doing well.
He did 3 1K courses for us.
Awesome. And that's why he doesn't show up under the courses section. Is that how this works?
They're
Killing it on the
separate.
UI, buddy. Killing it. Juan McNicholas. Hendon Mob. Okay, 430K. Not bad. Yeah, maybe I'm just dead wrong. It's
okay. First of all, Ewan runs one of the biggest cash stables in all of Europe.
Okay, awesome.
You have no idea what you're talking about. You've been in this industry for a blink of an eye, and all you've done is insult and alienate everybody you come in contact with.
Matt, no wonder
Just
we got
go away.
along so well then. You do
Just
literally
go
the exact
away.
same. Killing it. Okay, Ivan Stokes. 63K in live earnings. Sure, that's great.
Runs the detox stable.
Jack Lasky. Oh, nice. The detox stable that tries to sign people to terrible binding contracts and then scam their horses. Love that. I'm sure that's an organization I would want to be part of.
I'm just gonna let this keep going. This is too good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you inspired me. Jack Lasky. Let's see if we can find him in Hendon Mob. Is he Jackson Lasky? Does Jack Lasky exist? If he does, I would love for someone to link it to me. Seems like I'm in struggle town right now. Okay, no Jack Lasky, who seems to make a bunch of courses or videos for you guys. But I did find one Jackson Lasky that, let's see, has a total live earnings of $36,000. Love that. It's just who I want to be learning from. Are we just going to keep going down the list? Because I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
We're all enjoying this.
Unlike you, Matt, I don't have a problem with being wrong. So when I'm wrong, more than happy to just own up to it. Jason Sue, killing it, 700K. Because, 700K after you've been playing poker for a bunch of years is amazing.
What's your Hendon Mob, Lynne?
Probably 0. I don't play tournaments, and when I do, I make sure to never cash. Also, but here's the thing: I don't have a poker trading site. I'm not trying to I am a self-admitted fish, so seems like we're kind of talking like apples and
So
oranges.
can we talk about this Berkey and you 1 million session? Because I think the fans would like to hear about
Sure,
that.
yeah. No, it's as the fish that I am, I heroed every single bet, or let's see, I think I heroed every single bet Berkey ever made, but I also proceeded to try to bluff him every single river. So 10 sessions later, I'm down $1 million playing like 1 or 200 to him. I've pretty publicly talked about the fact that I'm down more to him than probably anyone ever, which like love that for him, I guess.
Do
Because
you have a piece of airball in this
some
match?
I have a lot of bets on airball. I do not have a piece of him.
Are you willing to make more bets, or are you tapped out?
I am willing to make more bets. Yeah, if anyone wants to give me plus 600 on Nick,
Plus 600.
yeah, shop's open.
Wow.
I mean, he doesn't seem to be doing great, right? Like I definitely thought at some point today that the match could have been over today. So, do I think that Nick is currently an underdog? Absolutely. And are there a lot of people who are currently trying to take Nick bets right now? Doesn't seem like
Do
it.
you want plus 300? Because we can get some action at that.
Nope. I'll take plus 600. If I wanted plus 300, I would have offered that.
I mean, I don't know. Usually negotiating, there's some movement, like we talked about.
Well, okay. Plus 580. Good point, Shaun. I can budge a
Big
little.
movement. How about we just cross-book the remaining sessions?
What do you want to spot me?
I don't need to spot you anything if you're so confident in his game.
At what point did I sound like I was so confident in his game?
You made a lot of bets on him. You've been defending
I made a lot of bets on
him. You've
him
been calling
at
out
plus
Berkey,
170.
saying he has no money, he's going to quit, like all this stuff. So that sounds like you guys think that airball still has an edge. So you take the best bet. I'll take the worst bet. I'll take match straight up, crossbook any percent you want, and we can post whatever amount.
Shaun, I think I look incredibly dumb, and I'm probably close to it, but not quite. So given that, if I think the market is going to give me odds, whether or not I believe someone is actually a favorite, I will certainly take those odds. I certainly believe right now I can beat plus 300. I'm in talks with someone who wants to give me plus 5. And also, I'm implying that Matt is not incredibly successful for having been in poker for 20 years and having played in amazing games. Like,
I mean, I played one cash session with Berkey. He was by far the biggest winner, and this was a couple months ago. He crushed me and everyone every pot. I tried to crossbook him the whole time. We talked shit. We were trying to fight. Like, me and Berkey don't get along that well. It's just old school guys know that he's been around, and the way you guys toss around scammer. And one thing I want to say to you is that clip about you talking about the action you sold, not making people post. Why are you letting yourself get free rolled? Why are you doing this just because you want to sell action? Don't take bad situations. Straight up, good advice.
The first person that Matt offered up like to hard vouch was Christian Soto. I don't know about you, and like I love Christian, but I want someone who I'm more confident that has $1 million liquid to hard vouch for any bets that I'm making. If I was in Nick's
So here's
shoes.
the thing: if Berkey needs a vouch in the future, he can use me. He doesn't even need to text me. So
that's fantastic. Okay, awesome. Yeah, I mean, sounds like progress to me. Do you have any interest in just giving up an additional hard vouch here because you guys are old buddies that stick together?
I mean, me and Berkey, he literally last time I heard someone say what Berkey said about me, he wanted to fight me. So like, we're not old buddies. I think it's ridiculous everyone's piling on him. I told Doug, him going after Berkey, like, I know he's pissed about the way he said about his employees. I think Berkey regrets the way he said some of those things. But like, Berkey has good intentions. He cares about this industry, and there are not enough people with a voice like his who care about the industry. So I respect that side of him. And to go 20 years in this industry and never fuck anyone over a cent, no matter, you talk about him going broke all those times, he never screwed anyone over at any point. Him buying action of himself after day one of this event is a sign of confidence. And you just say, oh, I don't think he has 1.4 liquid. Like, come on, that we both know he's got more than that liquid. And yes, his business is definitely worth more than $1 million. Like 7 figures valuation for the amount of content they put out, the team they have, the equipment they have. Like, you're just arguing these things that anyone with half a brain about business is going to completely disagree, and anyone with half a brain about poker will disagree.
I think you made a lot of great points there. I definitely agree with you that I think Berkey largely has good intentions, and I do think it's like important to use platforms that like you have to speak out. And I agree that over 20 years, having not screwed a single person over is very impressive. I think maybe how successful I view him in terms of his chosen profession as a poker player might be different. Also,
Do you think he's had a revenue
I
source
don't know.
besides poker for the last 20 years?
I would imagine he's worked with companies and gotten some type of like appearance fees and whatnot. And by imagine, I would say I confidently know. Do I think that that's a sizable chunk of his revenue? Probably not.
And when you guys dated, did you guys have a lavish lifestyle? Was he picking up dinner bills? Like, let's just like if we do forensic accounting on your relationship for that year, like was he generous? Were you guys going nice places, traveling, staying nice hotels? Like, were you paying for everything? Like, I don't know these things, but when I look at someone who's done
Sure.
20 years with no other source of revenue, and if that was the lifestyle you guys lived, which I'm guessing you did, because I think you're used to nice things, and you deserve to be. You're a very attractive girl. You've been very successful. You are more intelligent than you try to appear to be.
Well, no, Shaun. Why don't we ask Matt how Bills got paid? Because like while Matt was certainly generous, and I wouldn't be shocked if he picked up more than half of the bills. I would be shocked if he picked up more than 65%. Um, and that's not to imply that he wouldn't. I'm more than confident that he would have. I think, yeah, I guess I'll be the first to admit that I think I am like very privileged, both in terms of the people I come across in and out of poker at this point in my life. So it's possible that the bar that I set for viewing someone as successful within poker could certainly be unreasonably high.
Yeah, I think those are great realizations to make, and I think the personal side can be, which is rare for. I can't believe I'm the one to say this. This wholesome deed, this losing weight is fucking with my head. But like ignoring some of the personal attacks, when you think about some of the logic, you're like, yeah, it makes sense. And I think that is what people need to realize is attacking Berkey's integrity when his business is involved in his integrity is just low blows, and he can't even defend himself because the things that are being brought up and said about him are so
Okay.
frivolous. It's just ridiculous.
But Shaun, like I'm going to respond, which is that like right now I can call up a few dozen people and ask them if I've like defended Berkey's business. And I go around steel manning his business like there's no tomorrow. Just because a bunch of high stakes regs don't respect like your game, it doesn't mean that your product isn't like I can sit here and steel man his product right now because it's not like he's pitching it to people telling them, hey, take my course and you'll become professional poker players. From my understanding, and please jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like he's pitching to amateurs, telling them that they'll get better. And do I think they will get better having gone through academy or watching his videos? Almost certainly. Like there's actually not a fraction of doubt in my head that on average the people who are going through like his product are getting like what they're paying for. Have I ever gone around saying that Berkey is a scammer or really even a fraud? I'm pretty sure I haven't. And if someone can quote me on where I have, one, I'll be shocked, and two,
No,
I'll immediately retract.
I'm lumping you in because I don't
Right.
know all the content your guys' podcast. I just like if you're
Okay,
an airball
so then
here,
let me
like I
provide
think
some
if you're on that podcast and he makes
context.
that comment, I think you should defend him just like you're defending now and be like, I think that's a little out of line. I think that's a little aggressive. Like, guess what? Airball can talk shit, whatever. But you, as a friend of his and someone who's had a relationship with Berkey at some point and has some intimate knowledge of his situation, be like, I don't think it's that egregious. You know what I mean? And that's what I talked to Nick a couple days ago. I said the same thing. And that's kind of, I think, bringing everyone a little bit to the middle. It's not going to be like Daniel and Doug fucking hugging out the heads up match. But I think Airball's going to improve drastically over this match. And for Berkey to be so confident that he isn't going to improve, he's going to improve. And I know winning a big session makes you convinced that, but Airball's going to get better. He's never really played heads up in this situation against a seasoned pro. Like playing at the end of a session, like he talked about, when everyone's playing massive and everyone's stuck or on overtired, he might be very similar to me in the 24 hours mark of a session. He hits his fucking A game. And talking about like other high stakes pros talking shit, you can ask any high stakes pro, they'll call me a fish. But guess what? I can still win a lot of money in poker. And like, just because you don't play just like them, or like Berkey does some punts that we all laugh about, the same thing's been said about my game. So I see a lot of comparisons between me and him. And maybe that's why I'm so emotionally invested in some of these comments, is because they've been said to me. And I'm just like, I know my results. I know what lifestyle I lived, and I don't try to be as good as these high stakes fucking GTO guys. I just try to beat up fish because that's where the money is.
I really appreciate that, and I think I would appreciate hearing Matt say like a similar sentiment. I think a big point of contention between us historically is just that, like, from my perspective, it seems like he views himself as a fair bit better than, I guess,
You-
the general circle of high stakes
So,
regs.
what
Um,
percentage of poker players do you think fit in that category, though?
I'm largely talking about people that you see in like Poker Go 10Ks, 25Ks, 50Ks. So yeah, not a huge percentage. And also I've like largely agreed with most of the things that you've said in the last 5-10 minutes, Shaun. But go ahead. Where are you going with
I,
this?
I'm I don't know where I'm going with this. I mean, I don't have a plan. I'm just speaking from the heart. Speaking as an observer and speaking as someone in the industry. That's kind of, I think the people who've been around 20 years react to each other differently as than up and comers. It's not to say up and comers are better than us. Like, there's hundreds of people I played with in the last couple of years that I know are better than me now or are going to be better than me because I don't put in the time. I don't know what Matt puts in way more time than I do studying the game. I put in zero. There's no one who puts in less work than me. So I don't really know, but I would love Matt to chime in at some point so I can take a little breather.
Yeah, and just real quick, I will say, like, I have a lot of respect for you for how outspoken you are, and also for being willing to go to bat for people. I think that's super important, and I feel like I don't see people in poker do that enough.
I appreciate that. All right, I need a little breather. I'm tapping out.
I have nothing to say. I appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
All right, Matt. Thank you. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless too. So, RX, did you want to ask something?
Hey, I'm Team Berkey like all day, but this is hurting me. Like, she doesn't need to defend herself to Shaun. He needs to stop. Like, this is way out of line at this point. Like, she has to defend herself to Berkey, but Shaun is he's out of line
Yeah,
right now. I felt like
I
somebody had
mean,
to like step in and say that because this is out of line.
yeah,
RX, I really appreciate you saying that. And I will also say that I genuinely appreciated the discourse that Shaun and I just had. Um, I I don't actually think he like really personally attacked me at all. I think he actually did a really good
But like
job
the
of.
questioning it's not his place right now, and nobody's jumping in to like mediate it, is my point.
Oh, thank you for that.
yeah, I see what you're saying. I felt like Lynn would. I guess I felt like Lynn would have spoken up if she. I don't know. Felt like she was being attacked or singled out too much. So yeah, but yeah, I don't want to
Yeah,
enable that on here. So
if anyone wants to see what being attacked looks like, you can probably go to my or really any outspoken chick's Twitter and just read some of the comments. So yeah, as far as it's just like not personal and he's not telling me I'm a brainless idiot, I thought that was definitely fairly reasonable. And yeah, just to reiterate, I have so much respect for people that are willing to go to bat for others. Um, it
yeah,
kind
well,
of, yeah. Go ahead.
no, I just think Shaun has like a long. I think Shaun has a long history in the poker world, and he's just passionate about this stuff. And I do think he can sometimes come off as attacking, or singling out. And I felt like he was doing that to some extent, but I mostly feel like he was kind of being passionate about things he felt personally. I don't know how much you felt that way, Lynn, but I certainly hope you didn't feel like too attacked or cornered, and I wouldn't want to enable that on here. That's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show up tomorrow saying that I got bullied on Will Jaffe's Twitter Spaces. So yeah, I thought everything he said was super reasonable. Not to call anyone out, but to now go and call someone out. So Ryan was there today, and I would love to hear his thoughts on both how the match went, as well as just like the tension or lack thereof in the room, and have Nick and Berkey warmed up to each other, etc.
Yeah, let's see if we can get Ryan on here. Um, we got Rob Kuhn here. What's up, Rob? Okay. Hey, Ryan. What's up, bro?
I did think it was a bit odd that RX. I just came in late, so I don't know exactly what the conversation was between Lynn and Shaun, but I think Deeb's kind of like just like he's the markup police. Uh, I feel like it's kind of Deeb's place to always stick up for just the poker world in general. I'm not gonna lie, Lynn. The interview you guys did, that 15-minute interview where you said like Berkey's a 100K average reg was the worst thing. It like fired me up, and I really don't have skin in the game besides like some small side bets. Like, why did you go so hard?
Yeah, I wish I could retract that. Unfortunately, with all the wonders of modern technology, I'm not sure that's possible. Nor was I planning on asking them to take the video down or anything. I don't know exactly what you're referencing, but I think I implied that
You said no
Berkey
one
isn't.
won from his course ever,
Oh, here
but
I am.
then the first thing I hear,
Wow, I'm sorry. There's no way I said
you
that.
did say that.
I
You did say that, and then you laughed about it.
Oh, you're talking about when I was saying that like no one that does courses for him has like impressive scores. Is that what you were referencing?
No, I believe you're talking to Airball or something, and you like said something after
And I just
him,
said,
and like I've
and
heard
I
no
think
one's.
most people. Okay.
You said like I've heard no one's won from his course or whatever, but like that's just kind of like just slander against Berkey. I don't know. It just seemed very unfair. It fired me up. Like it just seemed very. I don't know. Just Berkey just has been getting like relentlessly bullied, and as if you guys know anything, me and Berkey have not had the greatest past in the world, right? Like we're definitely not best friends by any means. We get along quite well now, but like I don't know. That interview was just bad. It was just really bad look.
Yeah, we're definitely all relatively new to this, and I think part of what makes this engaging is the fact that we're all very willing to say what we speak. Does that mean that occasionally we say things that are both inflammatory and slash or inaccurate? Absolutely. Do I think no one who comes through Bricky's course wins ever? No. And if I said that, I'm sorry, and I'm more than happy to retract that. Do I think Berkey's courses are largely marketed at winning players? I'm not sure. Like, if he's still here, I would love for him to answer this. Like, what is your target market? Um, my understanding was that it's for recreational poker players, but that could be wrong. Tonight is proving to be very insightful.
I'm just gonna interject. I wanna kind of cut it off. I want to talk to Ryan a little if he's in here. Ryan, what's going on, man?
Yo, what up?
So you were there today,
Yeah.
and you
I
came
was there
in.
for like 2 hours. I was there like maybe 2 hours or so. Yeah.
What was the vibe like on the ground?
It was fine. I mean, it was pretty normal. Like, I wasn't sure exactly what to expect when I went in just because I haven't obviously been friendly with Berkey for the last 6 months or so. Um, so I wasn't sure how it works or if people can just go in or whatever. And so I just, walked in. I had, a little bit of time before I flew back and